On September 7th, 1996, Tupac Shakur came to Las Vegas to attend a Mike Tyson fight. After the fight, Tupac, along with Suge Knight, Trayvon Lane, and other people that were with that group, ran into a person named Orlando Anderson. And Orlando Anderson is the defendant's nephew.
History is officially being made in Los Angeles courtroom right now. 30 years after the fateful night on the Strip, the trial for Tupac Shakur murder has finally begun. Keefe D. Davis sat at the defense table today as prosecutors stood before the jury as they laid out their roadmap to his conviction. And let me tell you, the opening statements today were absolutely chilling. The state didn't hold back, pointing the finger directly at Keefe D as the architect of this whole hit. Welcome to Hip Hop Since 9. Let's get straight into that courtroom about what happened today. Before we break down the state's aggressive narrative, you need to hear this. Stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to reveal to you the exact massive gamble that Keefe D's defense lawyer tried to do in front of the jury to completely discredit the police. It's a high-stakes strategy that can either save him or lock him up for the rest of his life. But first, let's look at the absolute fire the prosecutor brought to the microphone today.
That was captured on video. Then, a few hours later, Tupac Shakur and Suge Knight drive down Flamingo Road to Club 662, where Tupac is scheduled to perform a concert. Then 2.5 hours later, after Tupac and Suge engaged in the beating of Orlando Anderson, they are gunned down. Tupac is gunned down in a drive-by shooting from a white Cadillac in an act of revenge. During those 2.5 hours, you will learn that the defendant was escalating and planning the retribution for the beating of his beloved nephew. Now, let's be clear. Duane Davis did not pull the trigger. But what he did do was plan the retaliation for the beating of his nephew. You will learn that Duane Davis got the gun. You will learn that he got into a white Cadillac. You will learn when the opportunity presented, Davis made sure that the shooters were armed and ready to execute their revenge. And remarkably, you will learn that from Duane Davis himself. To understand what happened on September 7th, 1996 on the streets of Las Vegas, we need to go about 275 miles west to the city of Compton, California. What you'll learn is that Compton is about 10 square miles, but in the mid-1990s, by over 30 gangs claiming its territory. And important to this case, there are two gangs, Mob Piru and the Southside Compton groups. Let's talk a little bit about the Mob Piru. The Mob Piru is a group that associated with the color red. And you'll hear that Suge Knight, the person who was driving Tupac Shakur that night, grew up in the neighborhood of Mob Piru. But by the mid-1990s, he had become a very successful CEO of the record label Death Row Records. But despite, or maybe because where he came from, you'll hear that Suge Knight continued to employ Mob Piru gang members as part of Death Row. They would act as unofficial security, and other times they would engage in, let's call them other acts, on behalf of Suge Knight. But Death Row in the mid-1990s was one of the most successful record labels around. They had artists such as Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, and of course, Tupac Shakur. And in 1996, Tupac Shakur was maybe the largest and biggest, most successful rapper around. He had just sold,
The prosecutor officially stood up and told the juror that this case comes down to two words: Vascaro anger. The state argued that Keefe D ordered the hit. out of some massive rap industry conspiracy. They say he did it for the pure street retribution. They took the jury step by step back to the Grand Casino fight, where Tupac and Death Row members jumped Keefe D's nephew, Orlando Anderson. The state claims that Keefe D was so heavily embarrassed by that beatdown that the next 2 hours hunting down a gun and organizing a death squad to clean up for his crew's reputation. They are painting him as a calculated commander who orchestrated their entire drive-by out of pure revenge. But Keefe D's defense team didn't stay quiet. His lawyer stood up and told the jury that this entire case is pure fiction based on rumors and book sales. They are betting everything on the jury that Keefe D only made those infamous media confessions to make money, not because he was actually there. So who do you believe? Is the state finally bringing justice for Tupac? Or is this a 30-year-old case built on words instead of physical proof? Go straight to the comments right now and drop your theory. I'm replying to everyone today. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe for our daily day-to-day coverage of this trial. And keep it locked right here. This is Hip Hop Insights, and I'll see y'all on the next one.